number 1 and number 2 in the polls, number 1 and number 2 in FPI, number 1 and number 2 in strength of record, net efficiency, and number 1 and number 2 in PFF's overall grade. So we're going to look at a lot of numbers here from PFF. Promo code GetBall25 if you want to get 25% off. And I think I saw a 30% off holiday, some sort of 30% off code. Look at their website for that. But Ohio State, Indiana, Big Ten championship in the state of Indiana, in Indianapolis, where the game is being played. This is as good as it gets. And I'm going to start one. I kind of broke these bigger games, three bigger games down into offense versus defense type deal. So Ohio State's offense versus Indiana's defense. I actually think if you look at Indiana last year to this year, it's the defense that's actually improved the most. But one thing that popped out initially, just sort of looking at the totality of the season, Julian Sayin, I've talked all season about his sort of ball placement data, accuracy numbers that we have at PFF. He's number 1 in the Power 4 by 8% over Carson.
Is that
Beck.
good?
That's the same gap. So between 1 and 2 as the gap between 2 and 28. So he's just that much better than everybody else at elite ball placement for their offense. Indiana's defense is better, but what Ohio State's doing on offense right now, different world.
Indiana's defense is better. It's really, really good. But I went back and watched a lot of Indiana today. They're very good at what they do. They're very understanding of who they are. They're not going to sit in man coverage when they don't have guys that are going to sit in man coverage and be great at it. But when you talk about reading eyes, passing off receivers, they're very good within structure. They play a ton of zone defense. And every time I watch Julian Sayin, and you don't pressure him and you sit back in zone, when you've got those two freaks out wide, it's not fun. It is literally back foot sticks in the ground, ball comes out. Back foot sticks in the ground, ball comes out. If you don't play man, it's really hard to slow down the rhythm and timing of an offense, right? It's just, you got guys running off the rock and it becomes extremely easy for Julian Sayin. So can Indiana change who they are a little bit? You said battle for the Big Ten. This is a battle for the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. This is a battle for the Heisman Trophy. This is the last undefeated team versus the last undefeated team. This is as good of a game as it gets. Ohio State, we've been talking about all year long. Indiana, we've been talking about all year long. Who can absolutely go out here and get this dub, get that number 1 seed, get the Heisman Trophy? That's what's at stake, man. This is as big as it gets. This is so much fun to watch. The X's and O's are going to be big. The coaches are going to be big. Ohio State has way better players. Way better players. It's not close. It's not debatable across the board. It's Ohio State slanted, extremely heavy. How does Indiana combat that? How do they even the playing field? How do they not give up big plays? How do they blitz Brent again and play zone coverage behind it to fool Julian Sayin? That's
let me throw a scheme thing at you. And this is one that is interesting when you look at how Indiana plays defense versus how Ohio State runs offense. Indiana is a heavy base personnel team. They put 3 linebackers on the field as much as in top 10 in the Power 4, as much as anyone in college football. Guess who also does that? Michigan. And Ohio State has run a lot of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends this year with Claire and Kaczmarek. But you've got to put those linebackers now in coverage and you got to figure out ways to handle Tate and Smith and the unique way, and Claire too, and the unique things that they do. That's where it's you're just asked, defensive coordinators oftentimes ask you to throw the ball on them. I wonder how much you're going to see, because that's their best players. So they put them on the field oftentimes. That's the scheme part with this, where Ohio State, to me, can take big time advantage in that personnel grouping against Indiana when they play base defense.
Yeah. And then the Kamara's going to have to eat. He's their best guy.
How many sacks he got?
I don't know, but he can win. It doesn't matter.
One.
It doesn't matter. He can still win.
I know he's got tons of pressures. He's like one of the leader in pressures. But
that's the most overrated stat in the history of the world is sacks. But like because it pisses you off as I'm a defensive end, so I'm going to talk from experience. Like you can have the best pass rush move you've ever had, and it doesn't matter if the ball comes out quick. Like a lot of your best ones, you're like like I had that sucker and the ball came out, or they screen you. So the pressures are definitely something to continue to look at. He's going to have to play great. They'll have to mix it up some, but their stunting up front is really good. That's what Indiana's going to have to do. They're going to have to twist those simulated pressures where they're bringing certain guys, they play over the top of Smith and then drop underneath Smith and Tate. Like that's what you want to watch. And how can they make that? Listen, we also got to play the other side. And Mendoza, and watching this offense again versus Iowa, breaking this offense down. Like this offense is good. But I love Surratt. I love Cooper. Those guys don't run by you. Like they're not burners that are running down the middle of the field wide open every single time. You have to beat Ohio State out wide. You have to. You cannot beat them consistently. Indiana's not going to beat them in the box consistently. They're not going to do it. So Surratt in the back shoulder, the most undefensible play in all of college football, has to be big. Out wide, Ohio State will get handsy. Now, this year they've been better, but they will. They will get handsy. They will play man. Like, they're going to have to make plays. The perimeter screen game is good. It's quick. Mendoza can throw it all the way from sideline to sideline, from hash to far sideline, which is good to stretch you out more on the perimeter. And then the trump card, in the end, you can get to Mendoza, but can you get him on the ground? Because that's a 6'5", 230-pound animal. Like, he's a big, strong dude. Sang can be average and win this game. Mendoza, he going to have to get in that daggum booth, put that Superman cape on, rip that shirt off, and have the S on his chest, man. Like, he going to have to play like a bad mother shut yo mouth. Running, throwing, RPO game. Ohio State's defense haven't given up 17 points all year. Not one singular time. Mendoza and company, they better get to 27 if they want to win this football game. Yeah. And I don't think they can.
So what's interesting when you really watch and look at the totality of Indiana's offense this year, I'm going to give you some numbers here. 70% completion, a little over 3,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 5 picks, 84.5 passing grade. So that's good stuff. Versus last year, 69% completion, right around 3,100 yards, 31 total touchdowns, 5 picks, 90.2 passing grade. Rourke has basically the same numbers that Mendoza has this year, other than a few more touchdowns and a few more rushing touchdowns that Mendoza has, and just a little bit more rushing yardage. But backs, receivers, all of it, it's almost a carbon copy. So the point that I had written, like,
I bet you the run game for Indiana was a lot better a year ago.
About the same.
Yeah,
actually, Mendoza, just a little bit more. It's a little bit more people, few more people, but
yeah,
it's the only. I think the only way that you look at how this game differs from how this game went a year ago is him making plays with his legs.
Yep,
that's the only card that's different in this deck in this matchup to me than last season, and that's why I think it goes very similar to last season. And Ohio State wins by 2 touchdowns.
I got 27-17.
31-17 is what I wrote down.
Yeah. But if they get to 17, Indiana, you didn't win, but you scored more points than anybody else did against them.
So one quick question, though. Smith and Tate, banged up, missed a game, then played against Michigan. Are we in scenarios with some of these teams, specifically these 2 teams, because of where they stand, where if either of those guys feel anything out of whack, it's shut it down?
There's 2 answers to this. 1, you should. You absolutely should. 2, no way in hell are you getting me off the field. Absolutely
like the player
not.
Perspective versus the coach perspective of this.
Kick rocks, bro. Kick rocks. Smith, after watching the Michigan game, Smith did not look 100% to me. Like, he did not look like he had the same juice. Tate, to me, looked really good. Like, he looked like himself. So I think it's something to monitor. But remember how many of these guys on this team has a Big Ten championship?
0.
None. So it's kind of a big deal. This matters. I think that's why guys will be playing there. And then you say, I got a couple weeks off. Like we can rest and we'll have a bye. Might even have the number 1 overall seed. Like you want the number 1 overall seed. You want to go get this thing. So
Yes.
I think everybody's going to play to win. But as a coach, when you monitor players, I'm just telling you, bro. Like I don't need you out for 5 weeks. I need you. I need like this week isn't worth that. And they've had some rest time because their schedule they've played. They've got plenty of rest. They have had very little challenges in their way. That's for sure. Texas played them pretty good. Texas played them really good. The team that's not like ranked in the top 5 in the SEC played them pretty well.
It's just one of those things that when you're trying to predict how these games go, and these teams like these two that are already definitively in the playoff get any little tweak, any little ankle strain, ankle whatever, and you might have a good player just be shut down all of a sudden because of protecting for much later.